Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have two island whiskies today. One you're going to instantly recognise, it's incredibly popular, and then another one which I don't think gets the credit it deserves. Now these are both 10-year-old peated island malts from Scotland. Both are bottled at, I think it's 46.3%. The Ledaig definitely is at 45.8%. So let's just call them both bottled at 46%. Both aged 10 years, both peated, both island malts from Scotland. So we'll start off with the Talisker. And it has a lovely nose. I can see why this whiskey is so popular. It's salty, but it's also sweet. I get a lot of red fruits coming through on the nose here, along with a toffee. I almost get a little bit of a sherry influence, red fruits, with a toffee, but it never gets too sweet because it's very salty. And also there's quite a good amount of peat coming through. Yeah, salty and coastal, but I would say on the nose at least, I'm getting a little bit more sweetness. This is going to be the peated line. It's called Ledaig, which I know is a bit confusing because I think in my first review I called it Ledaig, because it looks like Ledaig, but no, it's Ledaig. So actually more different than you might think on the nose. The Ledaig does not have, for me, the red fruit sweetness that the Talisker has. It's just as salty. Yeah, just as salty, but no red fruits. So it's less sweet, but it has far more of a butterscotch and a toffee nuance, a Werther's Original coming through with that salt. So by no means is this just salt forward. There is sweetness to both these whiskies, just in a different way. But I'm getting, there's something on the Ledaig that is interesting. It's a little bit funky. It smells a little bit like damp wood, and I would say I'm getting a little bit more of a seaweed vibe on the Ledaig than I do on the Talisker, and it's more medicinal as well on the nose. I think TCP, Band-Aid, that sort of quite pungent smell, like plasters. That's going to be found on the Ledaig and not really found on the Talisker, but remember I am comparing the two, so in many cases if I don't pick up a note it could still be there, but it's going to be less strong than its counterpart. So for instance with the Ledaig I'm picking up that TCP seaweed note, and I'm not really on the Talisker, just like I'm picking up a red fruit sweetness on the Talisker and I'm not on the Ledaig. It doesn't mean they're not there on the other two, but it means that it's going to be a lot stronger on that whiskey that I get the note from. So I would say if you want the TCP note, the plaster, the Band-Aid, that seaweed note, then you're gonna probably go towards the Ledaig. But if you prefer more of a red fruit sweetness to your coastal malts, the Talisker is probably going to be more your way, on the nose at least. If you like the video so far, please do click like on the video and click the subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel out, as does sharing it with a friend. Either of those would be brilliant. And let's get on to the taste. Okay, now I'm getting more what I was expecting. That red fruits that I was picking up on the nose, it's a lot more subtle. It's still there, but it's more subtle on the taste. I'm getting far more salt. It's far more coastal on the taste. More what I was expecting, to be honest. It says here, I'm just reading, rugged coastlines and beastly storms. And it's living up to its name on the taste a lot more. So that's a good thing. A little bit of a butterscotch Werther's Original toffee on the taste. just underlying that huge blast of coastal salty sea air that I'm getting on the taste there. Wow. The Ledaig, I don't know if it's saltier, but it is woodier. I'm getting a much more of a spiciness to this. Much more black pepper on the Ledaig than I do on the Talisker. And I've previously described the Talisker as salt and pepper. But actually I'm getting more pepper on the Ledaig. I'm not sure about the salt. The Talisker was salty, but I'm getting more of that pepper nuance on that spiciness on the Ledaig. Far woodier, but I'm getting a lovely damp wood. And it's weird, but I much prefer in whiskey the note of damp, wet wood that's almost rotting a little bit. It sounds repulsive, but in a whiskey I much prefer that note than a dry, spicy wood. Now there is spice to it. There's a lot of black pepper in here, but that wet, rotting wood is giving it it's a lovely, funky flavour that I really like. Almost picture like a shipwreck. That is what you're going to get in the Ledaig. And especially that kelp note. There's a really strong seaweed note coming through. That's going to be that similar to that TCP Band-Aid note I got more of on the nose. Honestly, right now, I'm getting a much stronger taste from the Ledaig than I am on the Talisker. The Talisker is saltier, and I'm getting more of a sharp spiciness actually on the Talisker. Going back to it, I would say, imagine a white pepper. For me, white pepper is a lot sharper. Not as much flavour, but sharper than black pepper. So black pepper and white pepper. The Talisker is going to be the saltier of the two. But I actually get a little bit more flavour from the Ledaig. It's giving you a little bit more of a butterscotch toffee note. It's a little bit more full, it's a little bit deeper. I'm getting that lovely kelp, seaweed, TCP note as well coming through. The addition of the damp, wet, rotting logs, it's given a funkiness to the flavour. The Talisker, it's a bit more straightforward. It's a bit easier to understand. It's going to be saltier, a little bit spicier actually. So the salt and pepper is true with the Talisker. But that red fruit sweetness, I'm not getting as much as I got on the nose. It's still there a little bit. But actually, comparing the two, I think it tastes a little bit more thinner than the Ledaig. So I don't know if the Talisker 10 has changed recently. And it's not the same whiskey that it once was, but I know the Talisker 10 gets a lot of hype. Me personally, I actually prefer the Ledaig 10 today. So this whiskey is going to be my favourite today. And also the price comes into this a little bit as well. The Talisker 10 is going to be around £40, but you can get it on offer for, I've seen it on offer for £25. Now, on offer, it's got to be the Talisker, but it is rare that I've seen it for that price. The Ledaig 10, the tough decision here with price is that the RRP of this is around £37. So it's a little bit cheaper, but you rarely see it on offer. If you do, it's going to be the low 30s. So you're never going to get it in the 20s. Like you can get the Talisker 10, but that is rare. So the price I'm going to count as roughly the same. Both affordable and both very much worth a purchase, definitely. They're going to give you a different peated experience than an Islay will. And many will prefer this experience. Me personally, I think the Ledaig 10 is the superior whiskey of the two. So let me know in the comments if you agree with that, or if you're a firm Talisker fan. I know there's a lot of you out there that are. So please let me know in the comments. Share the video if you like the video, and please click subscribe down below so you don't miss another video. So hopefully I'll see you all for the next Whiskey War.